Hey everybody, Storm Staffer Scott Anderson here with another ball review. Today we're going to be diving into what the Infinite Physix, the latest asymmetric pearl, is going to give you. We're going to be comparing it with the Reality Check, another asymmetric pearl in the Storm line that's set to release within the next few weeks. Let's go ahead and hit the lanes and see what we find out. Alright, we're out here on the lanes now. I kind of had a few minutes here to practice and try and get some reps in, try and get lined in so we know what we're dealing with here. Today we're going to be comparing the Infinite Physix with the Altered Reality, another pearl asymmetrical bowling ball, and the new Reality Check, which is coming out this week, Friday, July 29th. It's a hybrid asymmetrical, but the reason I wanted to compare it to something that wasn't pearl was so you can kind of see the difference in shape. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Infinite Physix. I'm going to be, my feet are going to be around 27 right now. We're on a house shot, so just looking at the 6-pin here. So first shot obviously looked pretty good. The one thing that I'm going to talk about more in depth with this ball later is the predictability. At every spot on that shot, it started to slow down. I knew the shape it was going to make. I knew we were, in a pretty good location. It did come pretty high flush with the way lanes kind of transition now. I'm going to move one left. We're going to see if we can make a similar shot to that here. See what happens when we kind of move a little bit when we might not have to. All right, so like I said, we moved a hair left on that last one, ring 10, so angle probably wasn't optimal. But one thing that I do love about this ball is its versatility. So I'm going to try and stay in the same spot. And what I'm really going to work on here is just making sure I'm a little bit more forward with it. Try and be a little bit more behind it. Get the ball to close up that angle a little bit and keep it in. All right, and let's see what kind of pin carry we get here. So 3 for 3 out executing what I wanted to do. Ball's kind of doing exactly what I expected each time. Just to make sure the last shot wasn't a fluke, we're going to do the same thing. So we went from 27 to 28. I'm going to move one more. I'm going to move to 29. I'm going to really focus on staying behind this one. Try to get as much forward as possible so the ball doesn't get past the break point too well. So that last shot was a little in, kind of had that nice forward roll on it. I like the way it went through the pins. It had a pretty good mixer there. I'd like to see it kind of go flush from that same location. So we're going to stay where we were, 29. Like I said, we moved one more. And then I'd really like to explore the lane after that. See if we can get it to face up a little better here. Alright, last one obviously went as planned, kind of went through the pins a little bit better. Was able to soften my speed just a tad to let the ball, have enough time to kind of face up flush. Now what I want to do was explore a little bit, so we're going to move about 3 or 4 left here into like 33. And I'm going to try and see if I can get it to shape down lane, just with my hand. Obviously, 6 boards right of this was dead flush, but if I can kind of explore the lane here with one ball just using my hand, going to help so I don't have to switch balls during league all the time. Alright, blooper reel, shot number 74. No, I'm just kidding. So that last one we were a little bit left. That was kind of exactly what I was looking for. I was able to kind of slow that speed down. Ball didn't get too far past the break point, faced up well. No ring 10. We're going to try that again. If we ring 10 here, I would like to leave it in just to kind of have a look at this angle here. So I'm almost kind of rooting for a ring 10. Like I said, I'm about 7 or 8 left of where I was at the start. So this probably isn't where I should be, but the fact that I can strike here, big help. All right, we're gonna kind of explore that exact same part of the lane now. So it's 33, 34. Remember, I was a lot further left than I probably needed to be. And we're gonna switch to the altered reality, another Pearl asymmetrical ball in the Storm Roto 900 global line. And we're gonna, I mean, obviously they don't make it anymore, but we're gonna kind of see if we can get a similar shape with a similar type of ball here, same dynamic. So lining up at 33 here, kind of looking at the same spot. We want to keep that same slower speed to give the ball time to do its work. All right, so first impressions, we can kind of tell the altered reality labored a little bit and never really shaped. Just kind of, I don't want to say it hydroplaned into the pocket there, but was a lot smoother of a reaction for some reason. Infinite Physix, mine has a ton of games on, as you can see. It's got all that lane shine, so you know, it's not like it's got that scuffed finish that's helping it read sooner. Altered reality has a fresh 4K on it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and do the exact same thing, but I'm going to try and open up my launch angles a little bit, so if I can get it to the drier part of the lane. Not too much, just kind of want to see if it's going to skid snap a little more. All right, so mission accomplished there. We can see the ball got out to the dry. Didn't really read too early, still kind of got a little bit further down lane than the Infinite Physix did and made a little bit sharper of a turn. When I'm that far deep, I don't know if I like the ball to be that clean necessarily, because, you know, when you get those pitch rights, you don't really want the ball to get past it. So Infinite Physix might be a better option there, even though, you know, the altered reality did strike twice. We're going to go to the reality check, which is a hybrid now. And the one thing that I really love about this ball is it kind of gives me the same shape as the Infinite in terms of like where it hooks. So it's going to hook a little bit sooner as a hybrid, but what I really like is the fact that it's not too skid flippy. So we're going to kind of be where we were, 33 again. Slower ball speed here. Alrighty, so was able to kind of move in with the reality check. As you can see, that hybrid cover stock gave it a little bit earlier and smoother reaction. Went through the pins a lot better. I like deeper lines with earlier and smoother reactions just because they're a little bit more forgiving, whereas the longer and stronger stuff as you start to get to the cliff can kind of really punish you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore where we started with the Infinite Physix. I'm just going to kind of throw the reality check just normal, not really going to try and soften up or anything, just A game versus A game. So I'm going to move back 5 to the right here, and I'm going to see what we got here with the reality check. I'm just going to kind of compare shapes. I expect the overall hook potential to be similar. So all we're looking at here is, you know, how early and where the ball hooks, and then the kind of shape. All right, so almost exactly what I was expecting there. Where the Infinite Physix was kind of going dead flush just because of how much stronger of an earlier reaction that ball has. It never really got too far down lane and it faced really well. It's one of the things I love about the Infinite Physix over the first few weeks of me throwing it is it has really good lane awareness. It kind of knows where it is. It knows how to face up well. Whereas other balls kind of, they have their own shape. There's nothing wrong with that. Reality Check's got a great shape. It's just, it's kind of meant for, you know, one or two specific things. So as you saw, I was kind of a little bit earlier and a little bit more tame in the back. I'm not going to move. We're going to kind of try that same thing. All I'm going to do is take a little tilt away. I'm just going to try and get a little bit more behind it, see if we can get it to be a little bit sooner and more flush. All right. So last shot kind of executed pretty well. One of the things that tends to happen when I try to get the ball forward off my hand is it comes off my hand a little bit faster. So speed there might have been up a little bit. Honestly, I thought they were pretty much close enough to where it could have gone flush. That tells me I probably got to be about 1 or 2 boards right with this ball as compared to the Infinite Physix. So I was on 28 before. Let's go like 27, 26 and a half. Really try and be forward with it again. See if we can just get it to face up and go flush. That's the goal here. Kind of get it to go through the pins the same way as the Infinite Physics and just find the difference. All right, that was pretty much as good as could be expected here. That was nuts, and it was about a board and a half, 2 boards right of where I was going flush with the Infinite. So just to kind of wrap things up here, make sure we know what the difference is between these two. I do it with the Altered, but obviously this isn't something you guys can go out and purchase and kind of, you know, check the difference between right now. So I figured the reality check's gonna be our best bet. So like I said, 26.5, 27 went dead flush there. I'm gonna move that 2 left, so I'm gonna be at around 29 now. Remember, lanes are kind of drying up as we throw shots here. So moving into 29. If I can get it to go through the pins the same way, that's the goal here. Just kind of looking at the shape. No, there's probably about a 2 or 3 board difference here. Let's see what we can do. All right, so kind of just to wrap things up, because as we can see, it was about a 2 board difference. Infinite Physics, for some reason, you know, it's not a hybrid. I don't want to say for some reason. It's got a really strong cover on it. It's got great lane awareness. But one thing that I haven't mentioned yet, which I want to make sure everybody does understand that's watching, these are drilled exactly the same. This is a 4x4 by 3 3/4 layout, and they're both drilled identical. So it's not like, you know, you're watching 2 different reactions due to the layouts. All right, so the last thing I kind of want to do just to prove my point here, I'm going to jump way left. I'm going to jump like 8 left. I'm going to really try and circle the lane. Check the versatility here. Hey everybody, back in the shop, and the one thing that I didn't say out on the lanes that I kind of wanted to really pound home here in the review session of this ball demo is one word that I use to describe every bowling ball that I've been a really big fan of over the years, and it's decisiveness. And the one thing that I think you see with the Infinite Physics is it never really has to think about what it's going to do. On its way down the lane, when it slows down, you know it's about to hook. When you throw it and you intend it to do something, it does it. I can move left and I can open things up. It still has the hitting power. You saw that, you know, the reality check has a little bit more of a bendy banana shape to it, whereas the Infinite Physics just kind of gets to the spot. And I don't want to say it's necessarily a snap, but it's decisive. It's almost like the ball knows where the pocket is as it gets down the lane, and kind of just has a tendency of facing it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that was all me. I'm going to give the ball some of the credit because, hey, that's why we drill so many of them, right? The ball's got to do something for us. So the one thing that I will say moving forward based on what I saw was that the Infinite Physics is a very decisive ball. And if you need something in your line that is going to give you a pearl asymmetric reaction, something that's going to, you know, continue with that hitting power down lane, you can't go wrong with the Infinite Physics. Probably my favorite release yet. Pick yours up today. Thanks, guys.